guys, what's up? This is Aaron Plessinger, and you guys are listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound like an aging corpse from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel alive inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I can find a way to avoid this fate, there'll be a story to tell.
Welcome back to the MotoXpod, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. I'm your host, Jamie Guida. This is episode 370, and tonight we have a triumphant guest lineup from the Triumph Racing Factory team. Austin Forkner will join us, and from the GNCC side of things, also on Triumph, Mr. Ricky Russell will jump in tonight. So haven't talked to him this season. They just went back and raced this last weekend. The season kicked back off after their summer break. So we're going to talk to a couple fun guests. Should be a lot of fun. It's a little different if you're watching live tonight or if you're listening post, because we're a little short-handed this week, more than normal. But that's cool, man. I'm in, and no Scotty this week. He decided his vacation was more important than the show. So F you, Scotty. TJ, well, his mom passed away, so condolences to TJ, but he couldn't make it tonight. But our friend Chase Moore, he did make it. What's up, Chase?
You know, I'm just the backbone that keeps the show moving, man.
Absolutely,
Glad
you
to
are.
be here.
Only one I can rely on. Only one I can rey on. I appreciate it. So
That's saying something.
yeah, there's going to be a lot going on tonight. I'm going to be trying to run the cameras and everything else. So hopefully no hiccups. Should
Cut us
be
some slack.
entertaining, because we all know that I get a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Discombobulated, befuzzled, little irate when things don't go well. So we're going to try to handle it all. But yeah, first things first. As I said, condolences to TJ and his mom. She passed away. He's mentioned on here she was battling cancer, and yeah, she has passed away. So he is dealing with that. But he's texted with us a little bit, and he's hanging in there. TJ's always one to make jokes about things while they're going on. So yeah, I think he's doing well. And also, honestly, condolences to I'm not political, but Charlie Kirk today. That's
Yeah.
We're gonna. I think my "Girl Your Ass Off, Bring the Heat" may have a little to do with that, but condolences to him and his family. Just or anybody that loses their life, really. But it's just, that's a big news story. So
Yeah, you may not agree with everything he says,
Sure.
which I don't really agree with with anybody on everything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you don't see
taking somebody's
that
life's
happen.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
Well,
ridiculous.
I think when we get to the "Grill Your Ass Off, Bring the Heat," we can touch on the world today a little bit. But as I said, we are presented by Yamaha Motor USA and Racetech. At Yamaha Motor USA, we don't just build motorcycles. We engineer legends, from championship podiums to off-road trails. The YZ platform has defined dirt bike excellence for generations, whether it's the raw two-stroke power of the YZ250, the precision of the YZ250F, or the dominance of the YZ450F. Every YZ is built for riders who push harder, ride faster, and demand the best. Unleash victory, ride Yamaha. YamahaMotorsports.com, bringing you the Yamaha Motor opening chat. Before we get into SMX, real quick though, I do want to shout out a Racetech Service Center of the Week. This week, if you're in the Colorado area, Applied Technology. They're, like I said, in the Colorado area. Owner Tyler Sutherland previously worked in-house at Racetech on the R&D team, and still is a full-time employee of Applied Technology. So if you're in the area looking to get your suspension serviced, racetech.com to find your local service center. If you're not in the Colorado area, we really appreciate those guys always supporting the show. All right, so we've got about 15 minutes, not even that, probably 10 minutes before we get Austin on. SMX playoff number one. A lot of drama from some people, whatever. It rained out. We got one moto each. Chase, rider safety. We've talked about this in the past. That, at the end of the day, is number one. So I'm okay with it. It is what it is. I understand all the circumstances. We got one moto each.
As a fan, I want to see the races, obviously. But with what happened at Oak Hill, 2 years ago now?
Oh, yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
Like, I was 100 feet away from that dude when the lightning struck. Like, I'm totally okay with him calling it for lightning. But as a fan, I still want to see the racing.
I do. But as I'm sure most of you guys listening to the show have listened to the Vital MX post-race show, the PulpMX or Racer X review show and the PulpMX show. So you guys know all the extenuating circumstances of lights and everything going on and the reasons why. Mui was on the Pulp show and explained it all. So we don't need to get into all that also. Yeah. But yes, overall though, here's what I do want to get into with it. Well, first of all, also thoughts and prayers to Julian Beaumer with the burst fracture of his L3. And then he fractured L2 and L4 also. I actually sent him a text yesterday, just, hey, checking in on you. I think he's in good spirits, seems to be. So, it's going to be a long recovery, but shout out to him. But as SMX as a whole, this series is supposed to be the pinnacle of dirt bike racing. Feld and MX Sports, they want it to be the best thing, that at the end of the season, this is the wraps it up in this awesome package. And I think there's still some struggles. For me, there's still some struggles. Not viewership-wise. Aesthetically, the drag strips aren't that pleasing to watch or look at. Yeah. They're not that viewer-friendly when you're there necessarily.
Yeah, they're not exactly state-of-the-art compared to, like, stadiums and stuff either.
But then in the stadium, if you look at St. Louis coming up this weekend – at the track map, like I was kind of excited about what they were going to do going into the convention area, but it's kind of boring almost. It's just a 180, and you look at the track map, it's almost Supercross. Yeah, it's not that much MX SX combination. So I think there's still some work to be done with this series. I like what they're trying to do. I like that there's way more payout, and that's all good. But we got to figure this out because I don't think SMX in a real stadium works. We haven't done it really yet, but looking at the track map, I'm like, it's not that motocrossy. And I feel, I know I'm hogging all the time here. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I feel it should be as close to 50-50 as possible. Like this last weekend in Concord, had the rhythm section been not so soft, but the outdoor section was still what it was, where it was like, that's what I want. Yeah. Give me the gnarliest motocross track and a really cool supercross track combined. And you guys figure out the suspension. I'm sorry it's hard to set up, but that's what I want.
I mean, same here.
And I don't feel like we're getting that.
I'm curious as to why they didn't put the start out there in the convention center, because it takes up a lot of room on the floor. I feel like they could have done a little more motocross-ish.
Well, I think they're still using some of that for pits.
Yeah, true.
I think that's the case, but I'm a little disappointed in what I'm seeing in this track map. Even in Concord, and maybe it was because of the dirt. Like we talked last week, or I brought the moguls, right? They were supposed to be these, they look like moguls from Mickey Thompson era, and they were nothing on the track. Maybe they knocked them down because of weather. I never really found out, but I'm not getting out of this what I want.
Yeah, I think the tracks need a little tweaking. I think the format needs a little tweaking too. The points is kind of gimmicky. I get that they're trying
I don't mind that.
They're trying to get it to come down to the end, but I don't know, maybe do kind of like NASCAR does with the how their playoff system is. Like everybody still races, but only certain people are kind of still in it.
Yeah.
To where they kind of get knocked out. Maybe if we try something like that to change it up a little bit. But you're right. The tracks I think need a little tweaking. I don't know what could be done. I'm obviously not a track builder, but
yeah, and those guys
they can only do so much with the time they have. I get it.
Ross and Corey are in one of they work for the SMX track crew. They're in one of our group texts, and dude, they're doing their best.
Yeah, for sure.
But
this is in no way coming down on them.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I just don't love what we're getting. The press box, like there was a moment where I think the cameras went out. Yeah, the cameras were only showing from the top of the end of the drag strip at ZMAX. And that is the view that the media gets. That's where the press box is. You can't see shit. Now, the media is not the most important thing as far they're more worried about spectators, but even that isn't perfect. It's not great. But then I guess it's not great at outdoors either. So I'm talking in circles a little bit. I just want it better. And they're trying. I just don't know how we get there. St. Louis to me hasn't even happened yet, but it's not the answer.
I almost kind of want to try one at a moto place, like Steve was saying.
Oh yeah.
And add some Supercross elements to there. And it's gonna. you just don't get the fanfare at a moto track like you do at a stadium or a drag strip.
And they need that.
Yeah, that's where they make their money.
I don't know how this works to what my expectations are, where you have a stadium environment for the fans, but then you have the perfect track set up too. Like that place doesn't really exist.
Yeah, they don't make stadiums that big.
So it feels like it's this big spectacle that we're working on. It's going to be the greatest event in motocross, supercross, the sport in our history. It's what it should be at some point once we figure it out. But the environment doesn't really exist for that to happen.
I wonder how far out we are from Feld and everybody getting together and building somewhere behind the property and like for the playoffs, and they could rent it out for other stuff like the rest of the year and make money on it.
I don't see that being.
I don't really see it happening, but like
I don't think so.
To get what you're talking about, that's almost what would have to happen.
Yeah.
Or you'd have to go to like Coda to where you have that much room. They've got grandstands and like, because it's a lot bigger than a drag strip. There's a lot more room. I don't know how much they would let you do on the infield and stuff though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either, honestly. I don't know that there is an answer. I feel like it's falling a little short, and that has nothing to do with the fact that they had the weather issue this weekend, but it feels at times a little janky.
It does.
SMX does so far. And
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it is. It's only year 3, and it overall is good for the sport.
It's trending
I'm
up.
a little disappointed in what we got going on. I do want to say, I'm running. I said, if you're listening, you don't even know this, but I'm running the camera. So I'm not on the YouTube chat because I'll get distracted. And I glanced at it a second ago, and somebody asked if we were going to St. Louis, and the answer is no, not. But just if you guys are in the chat and asking questions, I'm not going to answer because I'll stop talking.
Yeah, I've got to be careful because if I pay attention too much, I'm not going to listen to you. And then
So
I'm trying.
I'm going to ignore it. I probably actually should close it.
I'm trying, guys.
And then now I see Dark hates the track.
Yeah.
See? Stop. I need to. Damn it, Scotty, get here.
Yeah.
Where you at, Scotty?
I don't know. Where did he even go on vacation to?
Probably he's probably at Dairy Queen.
He's probably
ask him to pull forward.
He's probably.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if he went anywhere or what. He answered a little while ago to help me with something, but okay. I'm going to work on getting Austin on the phone right now. So again, if you're listening to posts, you're watching, there might be some lulls here or there because I've got to do multiple things.
Yeah, so, and I suck at this, so you just got to bear with us.
They already know that.
Yeah.
But
I guess I've been
speak for a minute.
Yeah, so I started playing golf again actually. And I know you hate golf.
No, I don't actually.
But
I don't love it, but
so I was golfing the other day and I had the idea and I pitched it to Darkside to get him to like go play golf with some of the pros since everybody plays and do like an interview while they're doing it. And he has no interest in it. So I don't know.
I wouldn't say that. I just
don't have the time.
I don't want to do it all the time. Like that'd be your thing.
Yeah.
You and Scotty, all about it. Like
yes.
Maybe I'll show, if it works, maybe I'll show my face here and there.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely, that's going to be your thing.
Yeah. So like me and Scotty talked about it. Yeah, we may start doing some like go play golf with some of the local pros and see how it goes and just kind of try to get a different interview out of people.
Yeah, I think that's cool. We need different things on our YouTube channels. We need you guys to like and subscribe the MotoXpod YouTube channel. Go to the website. There's some new things coming soon. I got some stuff I'm working on. But looks like we got our first guest of the night on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Racetech. Hey, Scotty, or actually Chase, since Scotty's not here, do you want to become a better suspension tuner? Say yes.
Yeah.
Well, check out racetech.com because their technical classes are coming up soon. Suspension and engine classes, racetech.com. If you've ever been interested in learning more about suspension or building engines, their classes are amazing. They give you all their knowledge. Racetech.com. Also find your local service center, and you can get your service tuned. Tonight, Racetech brings us from the Triumph Racing factory team, our buddy, Austin Forkner. What's up, Austin?
What's up?
Not much, man. We're a little short-handed in studio tonight, so I'm playing a couple roles here. So if the show seems weird while I'm talking to you, that's because I'm doing a bunch of things. But we're glad to have you on, man. Congratulations on a top 5 this week. I think that's tied your best finish of the season.
Yeah. No, that was it was good. I got like the start obviously helped me out a lot. I kind of got lucky, and there was an inside gate on that one side left open, and one of my starts, the first qualifying start that we did, I got a really good jump. The only person who beat me was Vial, just because he started on the inside of me, so he pushed me out. So I was like, kind of went to the gate, like, okay, I think if there's a pretty inside gate open, then I should probably take it, and it was. So I was like, okay, and then got a good jump, and the only person that came out in front of me was Seth. So that was good, and then kind of just rode my own laps. I really didn't feel like I rode all that great. I rode a little bit tight. And those guys got around me, which is fine, but my riding, I was a little bit tight, but being up there, I was kind of a little bit in shock, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I was riding a little bit tight and loosened up towards, the last couple laps, started to get tight, like probably about halfway, like from laps, probably 5 to like 8, and then loosened up and rode better and gapped those guys again that were behind me, the last few laps. But, yeah, it was good. I was stoked that I personally was stoked that we didn't race that the second moto, because the track was going to be ridiculous. There were some guys, obviously, if you didn't do as good in the first moto, you probably wanted to ride it. But I think anybody that was probably in the top 5 in either class was probably like, yeah, I'm good. I'll take this and not have to. I know personally, me, even if I didn't have a good finish, I still was over. Still would have been like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, and I listened to some of Steve's stuff, Pulp, the review show, and he was there, so he did talk to a lot of the riders, and I think you're right. Most riders did not want to go back out, and I don't blame you. That place was nasty, and I want to get to that in a minute, but I want to kind of go back to something you just said, getting up there in the front. You said you didn't feel like you rode that your best necessarily, but you have talked multiple times this season about being mid-pack, racing with guys that you don't know what they're going to do. So being up front with guys that you can trust a little bit more had to give you a different opportunity where you can okay, I can kind of feel this out. I'm a little more comfortable. I can see their speed, and you need that.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why, like, this was one of the first races of the year where I went backwards, like, which you would think that's like, you don't want to go backwards. And in my mind, yes, going backwards is terrible. It's like the worst thing ever. That's why I have crashed a bunch to like riding maybe a little over my head to avoid getting passed by anybody. But in this situation, like the class is so stacked this year that it's real difficult to come from, a 12th place start or something in Supercross and get up to like a podium position. That's tough to do with how stacked the class is. Unless you're willing to take like, some of the extra risks, as in like stuff that I used to be able to use, stuff that I used to do, shoot the gap whenever there's not really space, or do the big rhythm section that nobody else was doing, or whatever. Yeah. And this year I've been, obviously, like, one of my big goals has been making the whole series. So I haven't taken those risks near as much. So for me, coming from a not good start has been a lot harder this year than maybe it's been in years past. So just starting up there is really, a big deal for me. I feel like it's really important for me right now. So, but when I start up there, I might get passed by a couple guys, but I started second and I finished 5th this weekend. So, I can live with that. Yeah. Going backwards more than that, obviously I wouldn't be happy with, but I can live with that. And I'm never happy going backwards, but I think I've been saying, I think a 5th is kind of like right around there is about where I fit in right now. Speed wise, I just need a good start. And, like, I got a good start at Washougal, finished 5th. Got a good start last night, finished 5th, or last weekend, finished 5th, So yeah. I feel like that's speed wise about where I belong. A couple guys made mistakes, a couple guys didn't, and that's where I ended up finishing. So I think if I can keep getting good starts, I should continue to finish up there, and just the more and more I finish up there, the more confidence I get. I mean, then hopefully, I can get a podium by the end of the year.
I like that. Let's go back to Concord for just a minute and the nastiness of that track. And look, I was saying earlier before you came on, we were talking about SMX and what it's supposed to be, a combination of motocross, supercross. Like, I loved the fact that the outdoor part was so nasty. And if the supercross rhythm section had been really good dirt, come tight like a supercross track is meant to be. I would have loved that. It would have made it hard for you guys still with setup and all that. But that's what I want SMX to be. Great supercross and nasty outdoors, and you guys have to figure it out. But go ahead and talk about the track, how you prep for something like that once you got there, though, and we're like, oh, this place is nasty.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of guys, and I mean, like, a lot of guys that just absolutely hated the track and were like, this is borderline unrideable from the first practice, from Friday, from the first free practice on Friday. There were some guys that were like, this is the worst track I've ever ridden. All this stuff. I didn't feel that way, to be honest. Like, I was pretty comfortable. You know, everybody was so stressed out about the double, triple before the finish. And oh my God, it took a bunch of people so many laps to hit it. And all the futures kids were coming up short and like all this stuff. I never really felt that way. Like I was pretty comfy, like right away. Like I did the rhythm section pretty quick, the 3 on off. I did the other line, the double table over table. And then in the race, I picked up on the 3 on off, and then I did the triple double, and I was able to get that pretty consistently. So, I mean, yeah, the outdoor section, the toughest thing was to set a bike up for it because the outdoor section was so rough, rutted, and soft. But then you need a supercross setup kind of bike for that basically one rhythm section. So it was kind of tough to set a bike up for sure. And I feel like even the best setup bike still probably didn't feel good on that track. But I mean, I didn't really think it was all that sketchy. Okay. Like I thought that the sketchiest thing on the track that I thought was probably that step down in the middle of the outdoor section, like that. It was like the one bowl turn. I guess where Marchbanks was down at. It's not what he crashed on, but what he was down at. That after that right-handed bowl turn, that step down kind of into the hole. That was probably the sketchiest jump because those ruts, they kind of led up the face and like the ruts were kind of shadowed and they were really soft. You would kind of drag pegs up. That was probably the sketchiest jump. Other than that, I mean, I didn't really feel like that sketchy, you know, at all. Like I heard a couple of guys say like that was the sketchiest track like I've ever ridden and stuff like that. And I never really felt that way. I felt pretty comfy from whenever I first touched the track. And yeah, it got gnarly and they definitely they had to keep up with track maintenance, or it would have gotten. If they didn't keep up with track maintenance, it definitely would have been very, very sketchy. Yeah, and we probably just wouldn't have been able to even do some of the jumps if they didn't keep up with track maintenance. But for every time I was on the track, you know, in my experience with it, I really didn't think it was all that sketchy. It was soft and it kept you on your toes, and you had to be, you know, precise. But I mean, you know, we're pros. This is what we do. So yeah, I didn't really think it was as sketchy as some of the other guys. Like personally, I thought some of the supercross races, like I think it was Indianapolis. I think it was the first East-West shootout, if I'm correct. I believe it was. I thought that was a lot more sketchy than what we rode the last weekend. Like I remember that race, and I thought that race was gnarly. Gnarlier than what we rode the other weekend. I don't know. Maybe I felt good last weekend and I didn't at that race, but yeah. I can remember some supercross races from this season that were sketchier than what we rode last weekend, in my opinion. Okay. But you know, obviously some guys maybe struggled more with that. I just didn't really feel that way. You just had to, you did have to kind of ride in within your limits a little bit. And if you didn't, like some guys did, I mean, there were some big crashes. Some guys had some big crashes in practice and stuff, but that's just kind of, you know, you just had to kind of be on your toes with that track and not override. And I feel like that was one thing I did good all day. And even with getting a good start and having pressure on me in the main, is I never really felt like I overrode. I just did my laps, I did my lines, and I got past, but you know, I was okay with it. And I just, you know, continued to do my thing. And that left me with a fifth. And that was, you know, I'll take that.
Yeah. So. And I'll take it as a positive that you weren't that sketched out by the track. To me, that means that you are more comfortable with your bike, man. And I like that. But Chase, you got one.
Yeah. So, it's been a few years since you've gone this deep into the season healthy. How happy are you that things are trending up towards the end of the season? And how's the mood of the truck kind of been, beginning of the season versus now?
Yeah, it's definitely better. I mean, honestly, I feel like the attitude around just the team in general has gotten better since since basically outdoors ended, because we started riding our SMX track and we kind of found some settings that we found in outdoors, and we kind of applied them to obviously a Supercross SMX style track, and they worked. They worked pretty well. So I feel like we've definitely. There was kind of one problem handling wise with the bike that we were struggling with, all season long in Supercross and outdoors, and we finally figured it out. And we kind of ironed that out, and so I feel like the bike has just been better, and I feel like that's almost a weight lifted off of kind of the team's shoulders. That I've been kind of complaining about the same thing all year long. We finally kind of figured it out. And immediately I was like, yeah, I like that. So it gave me confidence. And yeah, I know that obviously with confidence in the bike comes confidence in your riding, and vice versa. And yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I didn't really figure anything out start wise. So I kind of just was getting good starts all day. So I'm hoping I can carry that into St. Louis. Because that didn't really change, but a good start definitely. I think a good start just allows me to show my riding more than a bad start. And typically this season I've gotten a lot of bad starts, so my riding has kind of gone unnoticed. Because I'm always coming from the back. I'm coming from the back.
You're
and
just surviving almost.
Yeah, I can only get to a certain point, or like I was saying about the whole taking risk things. So there's some races where I just. You got to get aggressive. You got to shoot those tiny gaps to make a pass. And to be honest, I just don't really want to do that. So there's a lot of races where I'll get stuck behind guys whenever I am faster, just because, I don't want to take that extra little risk to make the pass, when if I just would have gotten a bad start, then that would have allowed me to kind of show my ride more up to my potential, I guess.
Sure.
So yeah, good starts definitely. I feel like for me right now is key. So I'm really hoping that I can get a couple of those at St. Louis, and that'll just make things a lot better.
All right, I got two questions off the stuff you just said. One, the bike fixes or the changes, the improvements. Team secret's probably a little bit, but was it chassis, suspension? Can you tell us exactly what it was, or is that like? You don't want to let that out?
Yeah, I mean, it was chassis related. It was a chassis related thing that I feel like that was maybe why it took us so long to fix, because we kept trying to fix it with suspension. And anybody that knows is like, chassis is one of the most important things, because you get the chassis set up right. I.e. as in frame, linkage, swing arm, subframe, pull rod, triple clamps, things like that, chassis related. You get those set up, and then you kind of build the suspension. At least with me, maybe this is just me, but I especially on Supercross, because the impacts are so heavy and there's so much stress on the bike, and so flex, or I guess lack thereof flex, as in a rigid bike, is really important on Supercross. Not as much outdoors, but you still need the right amount of flex, or amount of give within the chassis, but not too much, because if the bike flexes too much, then it gets almost bound up, and then it handles worse. So the bike needs to flex. It can't just be rock solid, but it can't flex too much. So and there's a bunch of different ways to go about trying to figure that out, or allow that. And like I just said, all of those that I just listed are all ways to go about kind of figuring that out, and finding a way to set the chassis up to where the chassis you want to rely more on the chassis so much rather than the suspension. And in my experience, you almost, for Supercross, you almost want a really stiff and rigid like chassis, and then soften that up with the suspension. So then make the suspension a little bit softer and a little bit more plush to handle the, just to handle through the bumps and stuff that you get in Supercross. But the stiffness of the chassis parts are what are kind of going to be your baseline, your hold up for the whoops or the big rhythms or the G outs or whatever when you need that like that stiff hold up, I guess. Okay. So that's kind of, we were trying to fix, I guess, a little bit of a chassis issue with suspension, and there's only so much you can do with suspension in that way, as in suspension, as in fork and shock. There's only so much you can do in that, because if you can stiffen the suspension as much as you can, but if the chassis is allowing the bike to do something that you don't want it to do, then the suspension is ultimately just a Band-Aid. So maybe it helped in certain situations, but I say I was kind of experiencing the same thing all year because we just Band-Aided certain situations. We got it. We did some things to help it a little bit in Supercross, but then we had to soften those things up, and then the bike was allowed to do what it was doing a little bit more in outdoors. So then we had to so there was kind of a general problem that me and Jordan were kind of feeling. We've been feeling kind of all year, and we finally kind of got that worked out. So, and we have more ideas to even make it better, going into this off season. So I'm pretty confident that I think the bike will be even better going into next year. So there's so much, like all the things I was talking, there's so much that I don't think people really get when it comes to like testing stuff. Exactly. There's so much that goes into all that stuff, as in stiff suspension to a softer chassis or vice versa. And that all depends on kind of the bike you're on. That's why when you switch bikes, it is a big deal, because you kind of have to relearn the bike and relearn how this chassis is, because there's some things on the chassis that you can't change. There's certain things on the frame or whatever that you just can't, you can't legally change, so you just have to say, okay, this is how this bike is. We have to fix it in another area. We have to make it better in this area. And every brand bike has strong strengths and weaknesses, whether it when it comes to chassis or motor or whatever. So you just kind of have to figure out. You have to figure out from bike to bike, and we just finally started to figure it out, I think, and that I think has given me a little bit more confidence in the bike, I think.
I love that. The other thing that you mentioned a little while ago, you said a couple times that I want to touch on real quick, is that you haven't taken as many risks this season. You've talked about that, getting through the whole year. That's been a big, important thing, and we're 2 races away from that happening, making the entire season. But you also talked about the team being supportive. And at some point, though, the teams, most teams anyway, would be, okay, now we got to start getting results. And that might mean taking some risks. Have you guys talked about that in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, yeah, there's been talks about it. Like, I don't think they need to talk to me that much, because I don't enjoy getting finishes where a lot of my finishes have been this season. Yeah. And I've made that pretty, I don't think they really even need to talk to me about that, because I'm pretty, I guess, they know just by my attitude and by I wasn't happy ever with some of the results that I've gotten this season. Some of the fifths, some of the top 10s and stuff, I can be happy with that. But some of the finishes outside of the top 10 and stuff, those were just, I mean, they're not acceptable for me. Sure. I can't be okay with that. And I know where I think I should be. And I think that they know that. They know that I know where I should be. So I don't think they've really had to have those conversations with me very often, because I know, I was just winning races last year. It was just last year when I was, at the top. So, I know where I should be, and but I also know what I had to do in order to be there, and what came from being there, which was, some bad crashes and a lot of time being hurt. And that was a lot of speed and a lot of, race wins and stuff. But, I have to trade a little bit of that. There is give and take. is tough because, you know, it was going to be really hard for me to just immediately say this year, okay, I'm going to make every race, but I'm not going to lose any speed. I'm not going to lose any aggressiveness. I'm not going to lose any of that other stuff. Well, that's really hard to do because a lot of that speed and aggressiveness and stuff came from taking those extra risks, which some of them led to me getting hurt. So like I said, there's give and take. And in order to gain more races, being healthy at more races, I have to take away a little bit of some of those, you know, some of the things that I did in, you know, previous years, like take those extra risks, do the biggest rhythm sections, do the, you know, whatever, shoot the gaps whenever there's no room, basically. You know, I would do that. And some of those that led to me, you know, winning some races, but it also led to me getting hurt a lot. So I'm trying to find that middle ground. And I think I'm finally starting to get there, I think.
Austin Forkner, brought to you tonight by Race Tech.
Austin, did you play baseball growing up, and how much effort, or like how much practice did you put in going into that first pitch in St. Louis?
None. I haven't thrown. No, to be honest, I've never been a baseball fan ever, and that's what everybody was like, oh, he's a Cardinals fan. Oh, this, that, whether saying it in a good way or a bad way, dude. To be honest, I don't care about baseball, but it was a cool opportunity. Like if you get asked to go throw the first pitch in a baseball game or do something in a basketball or a football game or whatever, like, to be honest, I'm not really into stick and ball sports of any kind, really. They just don't really, you know, I'll watch the Super Bowl, maybe some of the NBA playoff games or whatever.
I'm the same way.
But they just don't really, I just don't really care. But it's still cool. You know, that's still cool to do that. And if I could get more people into the sport or make more people know who I am after I go and do that, you know, if I can make some more fans, if I can bring some more people to the St. Louis race, then, you know, why not do it? Right. And it's just a cool, like, it's a, you know, I can say I threw the first pitch at a baseball game, at a pro, you know, major league baseball game. That's kind of a cool thing to do, whether you're into the sport or not. I can say that I've done that. So it was kind of not really a bucket list thing, but just I can now just say, hey, that, you know what, that was cool.
Yeah.
And no, I did not practice for it at all. He caught it. He did catch it. So that was my only goal. I was like, I don't care if I lob it. I don't care if it lands 5 feet in front of him, 10 feet and bounces into his mitt.
Yeah.
I don't care. As long as he gets the ball, we're good. And he caught it. It was a little bit, you had to reach a little bit for it, but he caught it. So
not bad with no practice, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad, no practice. And my shoulder, my right shoulder, I've had like 4 surgeries on. So not bad. I'll take it.
You should have stepped off and threw a pickoff move to first base.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh, I just don't want to make myself look like an idiot.
Right. Yeah. There's only one way it could go bad.
Yeah. And I was like, cause there were a couple people, I think there were like 2 or 3 people who threw a first pitch. One of them was some kid from some foundation or whatever. So he just rolled it to him, or he just basically was like not far from him. But then the other guy who threw it actually threw it pretty, like a decent throw. And I was like, oh man, maybe I can do this, you know? And I got up there and I was like, I went to throw it and I got like right, like about to let go of the ball to where I could either kind of lob it to him, or I could throw, like I could hold on to a little bit and actually throw it like a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And my shoulder, I got to the top, my shoulder was like, nope. And I was like, yep, I should let go of the ball. So I just lobbed that thing to him.
All right, Austin, we got a couple. Let me do 3 listener questions and we'll let you go. Let's see here. All right, this comes from Devin Wright, 131. What are some differences on the track versus, say, 4 years ago? Technique or mindset? You've talked a lot about mindset. So have you changed your technique and the way you're riding the bike?
Yeah, I mean, I started working a lot on my technique whenever I worked with Rhino. So I feel like I've tried to carry that into this new program, new bike and everything, not just forget a lot of the technique things that I worked on with him. So yes, I have worked on technique, but this year I feel like the biggest change is just my mindset for sure. This year is definitely just, I've shifted that have to win, you know, can't get past, don't go backwards, sort of mindset, take those extra risks, got to do what you got to do sort of thing. I've taken that mindset and just adjusted it because, frankly, because I felt like that I had to keep racing, and I didn't feel like I could continue taking the hits that I have been taking and continue racing. Not that I couldn't maybe, but to be honest, I didn't want to. Like, I don't want to. I want to win, but to be honest, if that's the trade-offs, is winning a race or two and then being hurt for the rest of the year and having 1 surgery, 2 surgeries, however many that, I've had like 17, 18 surgeries now over the past few years. If that's the trade-off to win a race or two and then not race the rest of the season, at this point in my career, now being a dad, I just don't think that's a trade-off that I want to do. So I would be more happy getting, fighting for a top 5, fighting for a podium and make the whole season than I guess winning and then being out. And some people, I guess, will argue with that.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of that's my new mindset.
Okay. I think that's okay. That's some maturity coming in. And speaking of maturity, this next question touches on that a little bit. You may not want to touch this question, but Cody975 Piscatelli, should Hayden Deegan chill out with the cockiness? Now, Austin, you were young once, man. You were the superstar coming in, and you had a little cockiness at one point. So you can speak on this if you feel like it.
Yeah, no, I think about that sometimes too, because like I've obviously said some stupid stuff. I've done some stupid things back when I was young and whatever. And maybe that's a little bit of the reason why I've had my career the way that it has, to kind of, make me into the person that I'm meant to be. Because I definitely know that if I haven't had the career that I've had and had to go through the things that I've gone through, I definitely would not be the person that I am. I feel like I just have a much different mindset than if I would have continued to win kind of from 2019, whenever I was really winning all those races and I basically had the championship wrapped up, and then I blew my knee. And then the next year when I was battling with Ferrandez and I got hurt at the last round, in my opinion, I think I should have won at least one or maybe both of those championships if I hadn't have gotten hurt. So, but then who knows what that would have led to, just that's the thing is like, I don't regret. Do I wish I would have won a championship by now? Yes. But, or, maybe and just not gotten hurt as much also. Yes. But I don't trade what I've learned from all those things, because they've made me into who I am, who I am now. And I am pretty proud, I think, of some of the things that I've gotten through and some of the things that I even just today deal with on a daily basis. I think that I deal with a lot of things that I don't think, somebody else could deal with and continue to race. That nobody even know, that I don't even talk about, that the people don't even know about, whether that's physical or mental, or both, it's both. So, those things have made me into who I am. I'm not disappointed in those things. And I guess back to your original question, should he not be like that? I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, he probably shouldn't. But, he's definitely not the type of dude that I really want to hang out with, if I'm being honest. But that's who he is. That's, I guess right now he can back it up.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's a lot easier to be like that whenever you are winning. And once you do get a little ego check, as in a little injury or things like that, you start to change, that stuff starts to change you a little bit. And, I don't think I ever would have been, even if I would have won championships, I definitely don't think I would have been on his level, just because I think that a lot of that, I think a lot of that stuff is pretty cringe.
Yeah.
But, it is what hey, that's him, and that's how it is. And that's honestly a lot. I saw he posted something, I got sent that he posted something with Jake Paul today. If that's who he's, modeling his career after or whatever, he's doing a pretty good job, because hey, Jake Paul has made a good living off of being an internet troll and just acting a certain way and doing that for follows and views, and he's made a lot of money doing it, and just like Hayden has. But also he's a good rider.
Yeah.
You know, you can't take that away from him. He's a damn good rider, especially right now, and you can't take that away from him. I just sometimes wish that he would win and then know how to stop talking. But you know, that's sometimes winning in silence is the best, but he can do that his way. It's his life. He can live how he wants to, but you know.
I like the kid, man. Like I've sat and talked to him off the record, and I feel like it's a dual personality. I think a little bit of it is show. And he's kind of said that. Like he told me, I think it was last year. It was last year when he got mad at Vial, when Vial at Detroit, when everybody went down the first turn, he blamed Vial. And then I think later that same year in Birmingham, he went after like Hamaker or somebody. And I had him on right after that. I was like, dude, listen, man, I don't like it when you do this. Like these, you need to go pay attention because those things weren't even their fault. And he's like, yeah. He literally said, sometimes I say things without thinking and I don't even always mean it. So he kind of it said like, one, I'm young basically, right? We do dumb shit when we're young. And sometimes I say things to just stir the pot. So maybe that'll go away as time goes on, as he gets older.
He's got to stop hanging out with that Jack Doherty kid though.
Well,
dude,
I don't know who that is.
He's a little punk streamer.
That's kind of like the TikTok. He's got a lot of the TikTok boy mentality these days. Like that's just how a lot of. I mean, you just look at like how YouTubers and TikTokers and how they all act and how they all. It's just everything is for clicks, views, this, that. Whether they start beef, whether they finish beef, whether they. That's just kind of the. Like, unfortunately, that's just kind of the world nowadays. That's a lot of the kids, the whole Gen Z thing or whatever the hell. You know, I don't really care about all that. That's just what I have. That's just what I notice, and I try to stay far away from that.
Sure.
That sort of stuff. So I just kind of stay in my own lane, do my own thing, and I don't really, to be honest, I don't really like anybody that I race against. I kind of do my own thing. I have my own friends that are within or outside of dirt bikes. So I'm not like trying to go into the industry and be all buddy with everybody. Like, to be honest, I don't care. I just go in, do my work. I have my family now. That's the most important thing to me. So I am going to spend most of my time with them anyway. So,
well, let's close with that. The last question I have for you is from Bike Mike 58S. He wants to know how you met Riley and what was the first date.
Well, this could be a surprise or a letdown to people, but I DM'd her on Instagram. I just got through saying that I'm not into the Gen Z stuff, and then I have to say that, so that makes me look like that. I don't know how that makes me look, but I DM'd her on Instagram, and it was before the 2019 season actually, and I was like, hey, I don't know if you're, we were, I don't know what I said officially. Sure. We just had talking, and then, like a couple weeks before, I think A1, but I was East Coast, and I just said, hey, I don't know if you're into dirt bikes. I don't know. She was in NorCal, which she's like 4 hours north of there, and north of like A1 and Temecula, Marietta area. And I was like, hey, I don't know if you are doing anything. If you want to come down, I can get us some tickets to go watch. I mean, I'm going to A1 anyway, but if you want to go, I can get you a ticket. You can bring a friend, whatever. Like, there's a couple of us going. If you want to come down and hang out and we can watch the race and stuff, then great. And she was like, yeah, sure. And her and a friend came down, and then I introduced her to Kelly Lausch while we were there. And then the next weekend, she was a Monster Girl. So that was kind of an interesting deal. I think she had talked to Kelly like once or twice before that about maybe doing Monster, but not like that much. And then we were walking around the pits, and I was like, hey, that's Kelly Lausch. She's like, she runs the Monster Girls or whatever. And I was like, you should go talk to her. Yeah, I mean, probably. And she was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, just go say what's up. And then she did, and she came back, and she was like, so I'm working next weekend. And I was like, well, sweet. Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
So I mean, it wasn't like she was. A lot of people think that, oh, I met her after she was a Monster Girl. It wasn't really that way.
Yeah,
I met her and then she became a Monster Girl, but whatever. That's how it was. I think actually our first date, believe it or not, was a Panda Express. Really high class. I really impressed her. I told her she could order whatever she wanted off the menu from Panda. So I really set the bar low. or I could only go up from there. So that was our first date, and now we're together after like whatever 8 years, or I don't know, however long it's been, 6, 5, 7. I don't know.
You better learn that number, Austin.
I gotta learn that. I'm still learning Atlas's birthday. I had to go pick him up some medicine from he has a cold, and I had to go pick him up some medicine from the pharmacy the other day, and she says, birthday? And I'm like, March, I think I want to say like 13th or maybe 14th. And she's like, it's not coming up. And I was like, well, his name's Atlas. And she was like, oh, it's the 11th. And I was like, oh man. I was like, if Atlas's mom comes by, we're just going to keep this between we don't need to go. I haven't had to celebrate a birthday yet. So I haven't had to remember. So just cut me a break. And it was funny. But that's I guess how we met. Now we got Atlas, and he's the greatest thing ever. And he's a perfect baby. And I mean, I wouldn't trade any, family life for anything right now. It's awesome. And that's the most important thing to me. And I feel like why I've made a little bit of a change to my racing, strategy or my racing mindset, because, family is the most important thing to me. And the thought of, not coming home in one piece, or not being able to help out or hold Atlas, any of those, obviously I just don't want that to happen. So I've kind of made that a priority, that I need to try to be healthy and be fast. Atlas needs a new pair of shoes, so I need to make that money. But I had to find the balance in there somewhere. 100%. And you're still gonna crash. Things are still gonna happen. But just there's a time and a place, and I'm really working on finding that time and place to take the risks and when to not. So.
Well, Austin, thank you for doing this tonight. I'm really proud of the man you've become. I think I first actually met you in 2017 at Lakewood, Colorado, even though you'd come to our area and race Johnsonville. But that was when I first met you, and you've come a long way. Yeah. And I'm really, really happy for you and Riley and Atlas, man, and love your mom and dad. And so congratulations. Thank you for doing this, and good luck at your home race in St. Louis this weekend. Yep, no worries. Are you guys going to be there? Unfortunately, I will not, man. Yeah, I don't know if you know. I'm not at Vital anymore, so I'm kind of doing things on my own. Okay. Yeah, and the budget's not quite what it was when I was at Vital. So. I feel that. So, all right. Well, no worries. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Good talking. Take care, buddy. See ya. Yeah, have a good one. See you. That's awesome. Forkner tonight, brought to you by Race Tech. Always a pleasure. Good stuff from him. So, really, really excited that he jumped on here with us. Let's do the X brand emails, but you're going to have to give me 1 second as I change the schedule. Yeah, Austin's always a good interview. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He gives a lot of information, a lot of details. So, and it's good. It really makes it easy to interview. And I think he gave us some good stuff. So we've got about 7 minutes before we get to Ricky Russell. So let's do X brand emails with the X brand goggles. This is what I struggled with last week. You weren't here. Oh, yeah, I was Scotty and TJ. With X brand goggles, this line is hard to say. Vision is your advantage. Vision is your advantage. Good job. All right. I guess you'll read it next time. Engineered for clarity, comfort, and durability. X goggles keep your focus sharp through roost, rain, and ruts. Trusted by champions, built for every rider. Crystal clear optics, all-day comfort, and zero distraction. Ride with X brand because every second counts. EKSbrand.com. Tonight, the X brand emails. Let's go. This is where we need the producer, but that's all right. First one I got here. So last week, did you listen to the show last week? I did not. Okay, that's fine. You suck. You don't like the show either. Yeah. Nobody cares about the show. I can go home, dude. No, that's cool. I need you. Okay, so we did our top 5 was books, which I think you were like, I'm at. Scotty didn't read either. Our guy Vathic, though, sent in his top 5 books, which was very, very similar to my top 5. No particular order. He says, Heir to the Empire, which is a Star Wars book. That's my favorite Star Wars book, by Timothy Zahn. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. That was on my list. The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Book 4 of that Dark Tower series, which The Gunslinger comes from, was in mine. A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. And 9 Princes in Amber by Roger Zelazny. I've heard of 2 of those. Okay. The last one I've never heard of, but because his beginning list is so good, I'm going to download that book and check it out. So, Vathic, thanks for throwing that out there. He said, really, it's way too hard to pick only 5. You could do a whole show about this topic. And I agree. That's why I think I picked 10 last week, Vathic. So, yeah, which ones have you heard of? Do you remember?
The Gunslinger and A Game of Thrones.
Because one was a movie and one was a TV show, probably.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool.
I know a bunch of that stuff, but I don't know. I can't. I have a hard time even sitting down and watching like TV.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. That's cool. Phil Smeltzer sent an email in, and I was kind of giving him a hard time last week. I think it was last week because it was the grammar and the spelling was a little off, and I was much like TJ struggling to read it. And he said, "Sorry about that. Next time you don't understand, I will not take offense. Just respond, retype, or redo. Thanks." So Phil, it's all good, man. I just busting balls. And as I said, when I emailed you back, I really just appreciate the fact that you send in emails, man. I wish more people would, because I like getting that. I like getting the response from our listeners. It gives us a good X-Brand email segment. So yeah, don't stop sending them. Just make fun of me for something. It's all good.
It's not hard.
Yeah. Vince Pale from TBolt USA. Who was your standout ride for round 1 of SMX? Mine was the guy we just had on the phone, Austin Forkner. Dude was super solid and proved he still has what it takes to run up front. So go ahead. Does anybody stand out to you?
Kenny.
Okay.
How long he's like not really been riding and just came in with like end of the year intensity. It's pretty impressive.
Finished 8th. I put him on the podium, which in our FXR picks last week, kind of figured he really wouldn't, but I like to throw those out there sometimes.
I kind of think he might get one.
Yeah, I think by the end he certainly could. I'm looking at the list, and honestly, Austin's probably the most likely.
For sure.
Justin Cooper coming from that crash.
Yeah, for him.
You mentioned that earlier, how far he came back up was really impressive, but he's been impressive all season. Mm-hmm. But coming through the pack on that track the way he did.
He's got to be one of about 5 people that actually wanted to do the second motos.
Yeah, you may be right. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good little question there. Mm-hmm. So for next week's X-Brand emails, how about you guys listening? Send us in your, like, who stood out for you from round 1, and then we can bring that back up next week on the show. So yeah, send some emails in. And what we can do is I have some shirts laying around. Like I think I have some FXR shirts, some Race Tech shirts. We'll give a shirt away. I can't guarantee you I have every size. I probably have larges and extra larges. But we'll do some kind of giveaway. We'll just pick a random email if you send an email in for next week's show. And it can be anything. Any email for next week's show. Any topic you want to bring up. We will pick a random email and somebody will get a shirt or maybe a hat or something like that. Okay? So MotoXpod@gmail.com or go to our website, MotoXpod.com, and click on the contact form.
We could give away like a trip to play golf with me and Scotty. Like, you got to get yourself here and pay for the golf.
I spit everywhere. That was so stupid of a statement. Yeah, okay. You got to spend $600 to get yourself here, get yourself a room, pay for your own food, pay for your golf. But hey, you get to golf with maybe Scotty and Chase.
You got to be pretty cool too, because we might leave you there.
God, I bet we just get loaded with people wanting to win that.
So many.
Jesus, Chase. Okay, last one before we get to Ricky Russell. Brian Stillgarden said, any concerts coming up for you this year? Do you have any scheduled or?
Not scheduled. I need to get, dude, I used to go to so many concerts and then everything kind of stopped with COVID. And I think the only one I've been to since COVID is that one Lance played when you went to.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was barely even a concert.
Yeah. I wouldn't even really consider that a concert.
It was just like a local show and
yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm changing something on the schedule on the show or on YouTube on OBS. All right. So I actually made a list since I did see that email earlier. Next Friday, which not 2 days from now, but next Friday, we're going to Dallas to see one of my favorite local. Well, they're not really local, but they're from Dallas. Band called Mothership. Those guys, I love those guys. They're playing a show at a place called Ferris Wheelers, which I think is kind of cool, like Ferris Bueller, maybe? I don't know.
And Ferris wheel.
And there is a Ferris Wheeler, so I don't know if it's down by the State Fair area.
Probably so.
Some of that area.
In Dallas?
But it's in Dallas.
Not in Deep Ellum?
No,
Good.
well, I mean.
Good.
Deep Ellum's fine. But
dude, no, it's gotten bad lately.
Well,
They've got curfews at 10 o'clock and stuff. Now it's gotten really
I took
bad.
Hattie to see Mothership there just a few months ago.
It's like, they closed the bar down because they were like putting the bartenders were slipping stuff into drinks.
That's bad.
Yeah, it was
that's
crazy.
pretty bad. But we're going to see Mothership Friday. The following week, Wednesday the 24th, by the way, there will be no show that week because we are going to see A Day to Remember and State Champs. Evan Ambrosio is the drummer for State Champs. He's a moto fan, friends with Kiefer. I've become friends with him. They're opening for Yellow Card and A Day to Remember, so we're going to go see them. And then I don't have the date, but next month we are going to go see, I think we're going to go see the Cavalera Conspiracy, which is Max Cavalera from Sepultura, Soulfly. Hattie actually sent me the date for that. She's like, hey, I want to go see this band. And Fear Factory is opening. So my buddy Todd Headley, who's hooked me up with concert tickets, actually Max and his wife live like right around the corner from Todd. So he is working on getting us some passes for that show.
Sweet.
So
I haven't listened to that band in a while.
I've never heard the Cavalera
Conspiracy. I've heard some of their songs. I
love Sepultura and Soulfly.
Yeah, Sam.
So good stuff there. So yeah, those are some concerts coming up. Okay, so it is 7:30. Give me 1 second. I'm going to work on getting Ricky on now. Are we muted? So what's the best concert you've ever been to while I get Ricky on? We've probably done this before, but
I've got two.
Okay.
My first one was Ozfest 08. My mom took me to.
Yep.
And they were doing a Dimebag tribute. Hell yeah, was because Vinny was in Hell yeah at the time, and it was a 5-year anniversary of Dom passing.
Okay.
And the other one is Steel Panther at the House of Blues. Dude, they put on it's stupid, but they put on an awesome show.
Sure.
We were front row at the House of Blues in Dallas. It was awesome.
That's funny. I've never seen Steel Panther, but Ray Luzier, who's the drummer for Korn, was in Steel Panther for a little while.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
I think they kind of go through band
Yeah,
members. I've got the next guest on. Here we go. So the next guest of the night is going to be brought to you by Guts Racing. Grip, control, confidence. Elevate your ride with Guts Racing seat covers, trusted by top pros and everyday riders alike. Designed for maximum traction and durability, Guts Racing seat covers keep you locked in when the traction gets rough and the stakes get high. Built to last, made to win. Visit gutsracing.com. Place an order. Let them know the MotoXpod sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us Mr. Ricky Russell from the Enduro Engineering Off-Road Team. What's up, Ricky?
How's it going, Dark? How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing good, honestly. We're really, really happy to talk to you. We've been trying to do more and more off-road stuff this season, and it's the first time we've got you on in a while. So how are you doing with your season? Are you happy?
Man, it's been a roller coaster. It's to say the least, but yeah, I mean, it's a new bike, new model this year, and there's definitely been some kinks here and there, and we've worked on them and got them figured out. And it's been a little bit of a rough year, but I've been healthy, so I've been happy about that, because in the past, just injuries and stuff have really always caused problems.
Yeah, and seasons past, the last couple of years, you've been at Ampro Yamaha, so you were a Yamaha guy. So, yeah, the new bike with Enduro Engineering being on a Triumph, that's a big risk, right? That's developing a bike that could be really cool, a cool experience. But like, what was the deciding factor? What brought you to that team?
No, for sure. I mean, the end of last year, I was hurt pretty much the majority of 2024, which sucked because it was contract year for me. So obviously kind of just a little bit bummed on how I performed 2024. Because in 23, I got on the new YZ, and that was returned to Yamaha, and I really enjoyed the bike, and I think we really made it huge improvements and got it really good. And then I wasn't able to really show it in 2024 with just the injuries lingering. And so things just came about towards the end of the year. I started getting some results again, but just kind of a little too late to stick with that team. And I got on the podium a few times at the Enduros, and we were right in there at the GNCCs. So I was able to talk to Alan Rant, the owner of Enduro Engineering, a little bit, and he was looking for a rider, and kind of just things worked out. He was talking with Triumph a little bit about possibly trying to get a little support from their side of it, and just kind of do a mainly enduro ride this year. But we were originally just going to start with most of the GNCCs and then kind of go from there. But I'm doing most of them. I've done actually every one so far, but we've just had, like I said, a few hiccups here and there with with no finishes. So that's been a little bit of a bummer, but we have been developing a bike, and that's been a big part of it. And the bike has huge positives, and it really is a good bike. We just, like I said, 3 hours, it's just a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
So you gotta work it out.
Now, I was doing a little research, and I read that you were going to start out on a 250, and I don't know if you did. So kind of talk about the different bikes that you've been riding, because I know now there's an off-road version, so I don't know, like, what bikes have you been riding? Have you been kind of bouncing around a little bit?
Yeah. So, cause it's such a fresh bike, where the 450s weren't even available until April or so, or something like that. So I started off the year on the 250, and that was a little bit weird just because I haven't ridden a 250 since 2015. And so jumping on that, it was actually fun, kind of refreshing, something different. And the bike is really good. So I was really happy with that, because we were pounding motos in Florida all January, and everything held up well and felt really good. And then I know, like, you guys have talked to Caleb a little bit and stuff, that the beginning of the GNCC just started off with such shit shows of mutters. That was also a big hard part of developing a motorcycle, and then having complete mutter chaos races that are like not many people finishing already. So that was a big part of it, but the 250 honestly was better for those conditions. So I was happy with that bike, and we slowly, surely we're getting better. And then April came, and I kind of jumped on the 450 just when it became available, and same sort of thing. It's the same brand, obviously, but a lot of differences. The motor's completely different, obviously, and still had to work out some kinks here and there. So it's, like I said, it's been good, but it's been a work in progress, that's for sure.
So I'm curious, like, being on that Triumph now, are you getting any kind of data or anything from like the Triumph guys directly, or is it just kind of y'all on your own?
It's a little bit, but it's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of politics that play a role in there,
of course.
And so, yeah, it's kind of like we get a little bit of help here and there. Like, we've gotten some motors and stuff after having some issues, and it's kind of all through Alan at Indoor Engineering. So I kind of stay out of it, but I know some friends and stuff in that work for Triumph and as mechanics and whatnot. So I bounce questions off them here and there too. So a little bit, but yeah, we're a little bit more on our own, but if we're really struggling with some issues, we get a little bit of help. So that's good.
Well, I saw they recently announced that the off-road model is available. Will you incorporate anything with that, or are you pretty happy with the moto bike? Because I mean, usually there's a wide ratio transmission and a lot of differences with off-road version. You guys have probably already done that, I'm assuming, but will you change bikes or keep going with what you got?
We'll keep going with what we got for now. Everyone's telling me that the off-road is really good as well. So I don't think we're gonna. So we have 3 rounds of GNCC left, and then 3 rounds of enduro left. So I doubt we're gonna switch things up just with the end of the season coming. But I have heard good things about the off-road versions. I haven't even gotten to ride one yet. But in the past, actually, I typically like the moto transmission and that stuff a little bit better. So I'm not even going to go down that road to see if, but what I hear is the transmission is very similar. So I'm actually happy about that. So
yeah, that's cool. Yeah. No reason to change with 3 races left, right? Start over. That makes sense. So I was going through your Instagram, and I don't know a lot about the Enduro series, and I think we've talked about that before, but tell me about the super test that I saw your Instagram video on. That looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're kind of trying to just develop and just change a little bit. The Enduro series has been the same for so many years. And actually, my friend, you guys know, Stu Baylor is he's taking it over.
Okay.
So he's trying to trying some different things. And I think next year they're going to include probably half of the rounds with the super tests, and maybe do a little bit different things within that. Like, so it was during the summer break, actually, of GNCC racing. We had one enduro round, and they did the first ever super test. And it was cool because I was able to win that. And it was just it was Saturday. Enduros we just raced on Sunday. So Saturday we show up and sign up and do all that. So they let us race the super test on Saturday. So it was kind of nice to get there and kind of loosen up and go do a kind of head-to-head battle with someone fast. Like I had Ben Kelly, Stu was racing against Josh Toth. So it's just something different. And I think it could go somewhere and be something cool. So hoping they do that more next year. I know eventually his plan is to do all of them, but I think next year start doing it just at maybe half the rounds.
So it looked like it was side-by-side racing. How long of a section or a course? It's not the whole loop, right? I mean, is it a whole section or a whole test?
No. So typically enduro tests are anywhere from 4 to 12 miles.
Yep.
And this was just the grass track. So it was 2 minutes and 15 seconds is what it took us. So typically our tests are anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. So it was just a quick, short little thing.
Like a sprint.
It was just cool. Yeah, cool little sprint. And it had an over under, this one did. So it was kind of cool because you're racing head to head with someone and you both start side by side, and then we do over under. And so one lane was slightly faster at the beginning, but then the other lane would catch up towards the end. So it just added to it and made it kind of interesting for the fans and just everyone. Even all the riders were pretty, like, they were all nervous just because first ever and just, I don't know, something different. So
yeah,
cool.
No, I thought it looked really cool. I thought it looked really cool when I was watching the video. I was like, oh, that looks like really intense. And it looked like I couldn't see you under the helmet, but it just looked like you guys were having a blast.
Yeah. I mean, we lucked out with conditions. Conditions were good. That always makes things good. So that was a big part of it. But it was just grass track and moto or super enduro GPs over in Europe. They do super tests like that, but they add a lot of enduro cross sections and stuff. So we'll see. I think they might do a little bit more to the courses for if they do continue with the super test.
No, I think that's cool. I think I can see fans really lining up for that and really enjoying that. So I like that. Going back to the bike for just a minute, or even just the season. I know you've had some struggles. You talked about that developing bike, but give me some of your pleasant surprises. Like, what have you took away from this new team or this new bike that you're like, oh, okay, I wasn't really expecting that?
I mean, honestly, when I first jumped on the bike, I was just impressed with the chassis and power right off the get-go. It was like, I know Kiefer and a lot of people put time in testing this thing and Ricky Carmichael and whatnot, but it was just surprising how neutral of a bike it was. I felt like you could get comfortable on it real quick. It wasn't like doing anything funky. So I would say that was the first and biggest initial surprise right off the bat, because I hadn't ridden anything for the last couple of years, but a Yamaha. So when I jumped on it, I was like, man, this thing's very, very neutral feeling bike and very comfortable. So that was definitely the biggest one.
Yeah, good to hear. Ricky Russell tonight brought to you by Guts Racing, gutsracing.com. Let them know MotoXpod sent you.
Ricky, of all the things you thought you might do in your career, was backflipping a tricycle at Pastrana's house ever on that list?
I can't say it was. That was something. I mean, I grew up at prime Nitro Circus time, just watching on MTV and all that, just all the episodes, and just the idol of Travis Pastrana and his whole crew, really. And it's just very cool that Stu Baylor kind of got connected with him a little bit over the years and said they were going. I was like, sign me up. I'm down. Get me out there. That's a dream. And I mean, he was nuts, of course, the stuff he's jumping and whatnot, and just pulls these tricycles out of the corner of his garage, and they got bent axles and straps on them. And I'm like, dude, the plastic wheels. And we're looking at the ramp like, there's no way he's going down that on this thing. And he just sends it, and the throws a double backflip right off the bat, and everyone's like, what the heck? So when he asked if someone else wanted to give it a go, he made it look really easy, and so we went for it, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like if you had said nah, I don't think so, and you would have got home and the rest of your life, you'd have regretted it.
Exactly.
I'll toss myself into airbag pretty much any direction like that.
Is it airbag
exactly.
or is it foam?
Well, it's like a bag ramp landing type thing. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
it was an airbag, but my fear was to not make it to the airbag.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the ramp going down the video doesn't do it justice, and it's like you're going so dang fast on a little plastic tricycle that he just strapped together, and that was the scary part, was trying not to get loose on the downhill before the ramp, just hitting the ramp. So, but no, airbag, I was happy about that because I did land a little bit, like not quite all the way rotation wise.
That's cool though. That's a really cool experience. And another cool thing you got to do during the summer break I saw was Day in the Dirt East. You did the team race with our buddy Carson Brown. That's an event that I keep saying I really want to get to at some point, but another cool thing you got to do on an off weekend.
Yeah, that's a fun event. So I did it last year for the first time, and it's just everyone's there for fun. There's nothing. We don't get a whole lot out of it besides track time and practice, really. And it's just everyone enjoying riding their motorcycles. So it's nothing that, like, it's all bragging rights, really. So we got me and Zacho actually day one did the team race together. Oh, cool. And that was a blast because it was me and him. He led the first lap with Stu Baylor right on his ass. And then he transferred it to me, and you have to transfer every lap. And so I got it. And then Carson Brown was right on my ass for every lap. It was just over an hour of switching and back and forth every 5 minutes. We switch. And
oh, wow.
Every time I was on the bike, it was full intense sprint with Carson Brown on a 2-stroke all up my ass trying to get around me. And I don't know, that was probably one of the most exciting races of the weekend, me and Zacho, and we were able to hold on to it. So that was cool. And like I said, we don't get anything out of it besides bragging rights. And
sure. That's what Zacho's at the end of the day, that's what it's about really anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. And Zacho's like, I've won moto, he's won a 250 moto at High Point before. And he said that team race was just as cool. I was like, no, it wasn't. But yeah.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
But yeah, then the next day I was able to team up with Carson, and me and him were able to get the win on the next day on the team race. So it was cool. It was a cool event. There's a lot of racing throughout the weekend, and you end up getting pretty exhausted by the end, because we finish it off with about an hour and a half race right at the end. Jeez. After a lot of 30s and 40s throughout the weekend. So
yeah, you got to be in shape for that shit, Ricky. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not right. Certainly not right now. So I haven't been on the bike much, and I'm really, really disappointed. I'm not going to make the Ironman GNCC this season, because I think this is the first year in a while that I haven't made it. I think I've done it 3 years in a row. So yeah, unfortunately, not going to happen.
Dang it! What is that? Just budget and time and whatever.
Yeah, it's like I just told Austin Forkner a few minutes ago. With me not being at Vital anymore and them helping with the, with the expenses, it's just I have a day job again, so it's not feasible. I've been back at this day job for 2 months, and I can't really go, hey, I need a weekend off, and I'm taking off for MXDN also, and it's just not. It's not. I mean, honestly, the budgetary wise, I could probably go to the GNCC, but I can't keep taking these weekends off over and over.
I got you. Hey, I don't blame you there. Yeah. You can't go get fired from the real job.
No, I got to keep it up. But next year the goal will be to come back at Ironman, because I had made a goal after last year to do actually do more than 3 laps. I've never made it more than 3 laps, because I always get lapped on lap 3. By Rachel Archer, usually goes blown by, and I want to make 4 laps, and not gonna happen this year, but we'll shoot for next.
Yeah, start training now.
Yeah, it's gonna take that long to get ready. So before I let you go, man, as you said, there's 3 rounds of this GNCC season left, and this has been a pretty wild year. You talked about the weather at the beginning of the year, but also just having XC2 guys like Grant Davis that are just crushing it from the second row, second group of starts. It's a very, I don't know, man. He's doing something special this year.
It's insane, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. It's never been like, there's been XC2s battling for overalls for a long time, but not consistently.
Wasn't there only one or two though up until this season? And this season there's been like 4?
Yeah, no, before the season, there's never like 250 guys that typically, there was only 1 or 2 that actually did win.
Yeah.
And before that, there was battles here and there, but never consistently. And then it's typically muddy races or something like that. And they'd be there until the last lap, and then the XC1 would get away. But man, Grant has figured it out. He's ripping right now. He's got a lot of confidence, and he's riding really well. His bike's working good, and I think he's just, everything's clicking. He's young. He's not scared. He hangs it out there. So even when you're watching videos and whatnot, he's getting sideways out of the corners and a little bit sketchy, but he's not scared, and he goes to the front, and it's pretty impressive to see because, like I said, not any XC2s have ever done that consistently. And he's actually brought the next 2 guys with him.
Yes.
So now those guys have stepped it up, and we got consistently 3 to 4 XC2s battling for overalls. So it's pretty impressive. It's definitely a weird year, been weird, but the weather will hopefully continue to be a little bit better. We've had some good rounds where it has been good, solid racing, but before summer break, it was pretty much 50% of the races were underwater. So that played a little role in it, but now we just had buckwheat last weekend, and it was pretty good conditions. It rained on the quads, but for us, it was pretty perfect, really.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is certainly not to take anything away from you and XC1, but just it's elevating the sport. I think it's good for the sport that the future is strong, and there's a lot of talent within GNCC and off-road racing, and even enduro series. So it's a good thing for the sport. Yeah, no,
I totally agree. I think, and now we're all starting on the same row. I think that even looks better because sometimes as the season gets later in the year, there's just the back of the pack XC1 guys don't typically people. And I think it looks a lot better. We'll have 15 to 20 people every time on the front row because we'll have XC2s up there too. And it should just, I think, make the racing that much better because, I mean, now it's not all adjusted time either with those guys. So before Grant a little bit could kind of relax once he caught up because he knew he had everyone on adjusted time, which didn't stop him. He still would go to the front a lot of the time. So I'm not saying that that's why, but the adjusted time did give you a little bit of a leeway where you weren't totally worried about getting to the front. So now with him on front row, I think that is better, and I think it is good for the sport. I think it's definitely growing. GNCC has been growing a lot just since I've started, so I think it's good.
Absolutely, well, Ricky, man, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Good luck on these last 3. Let's get up there and get a podium, man. We can get it done. I believe in you, man. Let's get that triumph up there.
I got 1 podium this year, which is kind of frustrating because
was that an enduro series? That was enduro, right?
I got one enduro, but I got one at Tennessee GNCC.
Yeah, round 5.
But I actually ended up being 4th overall because Grant Davis bumped me on adjusted time. That was kind of pissed me off. But yeah, and on top of that, Caleb Russell got around me with 2 turns to go. So I lost 1 spot, but lost another one to adjusted time. Yeah. So that pissed me off. But yeah, that one was right there. And then had before summer break, we had snowshoe and we were running up front. And then we unfortunately had some bike problems. So that pissed me off too. But hopefully we can just keep it together. And we got 3 more rounds. This last weekend was a little rough. Couldn't stay off the ground early and then lost the pack and just kind of rode alone most of the day and ended up finishing, but not where I want to be. Right. So yeah, we need to get up there and be in the mix the whole race, these last 3 rounds.
Well, let's do it, Ricky, and I appreciate your time. As always, it's always a lot of fun seeing you, and I hate that I won't see you at Ironman, but we'll figure it out
Next
soon.
one. Yep. Sounds good. Get to training.
As soon as we get off the phone, man, I'm gonna go mountain bike ride tonight.
Sounds good.
All right, take care, Ricky. Thank you. See you, bud.
Thanks.
Ricky Russell tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Man, I am really, really bummed that I can't go.
Yeah.
I know TJ's been hitting me up because he was going to try to go with me. And unfortunately, it's just not going to work. Too much going on, man. Too much going on. I will be at MXDN, and I plan on going to Monster Mountain for the Yamaha Blue Crew Invitational, which I think is in October. But
is it October? I thought it was November.
Might be November.
I can't remember. You told me November. I can't. That might have been wrong though.
I could turn around and look at my.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's really not that big of a deal. All right, let's do Grill Your Ass Off, Bring the Heat. Let me go back to the schedule. What are we doing here? Why am I confused? Great radio. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right. Do you love to cook and grill?
I do.
And make good food? Well, Grill Your Ass Off is a veteran-owned seasoning company that manufactures some of the best flavors this great country has ever known. Every Grill Your Ass Off item is labeled with a military or first responder theme and is made in Texas with pride. Jason's also a moto guy, by the way, Jason Murph. Each product sold proudly supports a true nonprofit organization or event. Whether you're grilling up some chicken breasts, baking pork chops, or boiling shrimp, Grill Your Ass Off has seasoning for the occasion. Visit grillyourassoff.com. Use that promo code DarksideMX3. That's all caps to save 20%. I made some sausage last night and threw some cannibal seasoning. And then what I did, the eggs this morning with, it's Sergeant something. It's like, it's salt and pepper and, man, I'm blanking. I don't know. I made some chicken the other night with the lemon, lemon. I don't even know. I don't know the names, man. I can't think what's in it. It's all good.
Yeah.
I cook all the time, and I use Grill Your Ass Off literally every day. When I make my breakfast, I'll use Infidel or Cannibal, or it's not called Sergeant Pepper, but damn it, I should know these things.
I need to order some.
Yeah, you do. You need to use my code.
No, I'm going to pay
even though
price.
I'm an idiot and don't remember the names off the top of my head of everything, it's freaking awesome. And if you like
everything
cook,
I've tried is awesome.
Dude, I take little like the sample packs with me to work, and I'll throw it on food at work, or like if I don't make breakfast and I do the gross thing and go to McDonald's and get a big breakfast, I'll take like some of the seasoning and throw it on my eggs and my sausage.
I've got seasoning in the van for fast food too.
Yeah,
I can't.
Well, you need to grill your ass off for that. Okay, so grill your ass off.
Platoon sergeant.
That's it.
Yep. Thanks, Garrett.
That's it. Thanks, Garrett. That's the one. I knew it was Sergeant something. That stuff's awesome. That goes on my eggs regularly. Okay, I got to stop looking at the chat. Do you have a Bring the Heat? Do you have one lined up?
I can bring one. I can make one up pretty quick.
Well, damn it. Okay, so mine stemmed from, as I mentioned earlier, the assassination today.
Yeah, it's
that kind of
going.
Put my mind there, and I started thinking about just things that I see on Instagram or Twitter, and it's just where our country is. First of all, not a political show. I don't really even consider myself to have a political affiliation so much, but
no, me either.
What I do kind of strive to do is be a good person, a nice person. I love to bust Scotty's balls and TJ's balls and mess with my friends, and I certainly am short on patience, but there's a lot of anger in this country, in this world, and a lot of people just being assholes to other people. And that bothers me. Like Charlie Kirk, no matter what your beliefs are in the world, no matter where you are with your mindset in the world, other people don't deserve to be attacked, shot, ran off the road, et cetera, et cetera. Like it's not that difficult to be friendly and courteous, and I don't know why everybody is so freaking angry in the world. Like things aren't great, but there's always negatives.
Nobody gets told no anymore. And
I don't know.
I think some of it is that like nobody gets told no anymore. Everybody gets their way all the time. They feel like they are the most important person in the world.
Okay. There's a lot
in
of
your world,
yeah,
you are.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of it. And then you get the media blowing stuff up on one side or the other. And
social media really,
dude, I try to stay off
our
of it.
world a little bit.
If I feel like if you agree with one party on every single like issue, you're probably an idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why I don't really consider myself to even be political or have an affiliation, because I don't, and I'm also easily swayed. Yeah, I can see both sides to a.
I can look
story.
I can look through. I can look through the lens on your side and my side, but
not that has anything to do with what I'm saying. I think at the end of the day, what I'm saying with this bring the heat, grill your ass, I'll bring the heat is like, try to, if you're listening to this every day, try to do just one nice thing, say one nice thing, hold a door open for somebody, let somebody in when you're sitting in traffic, something, man. It's just like the world needs more consideration of others. And like you kind of said, not so much like, what about me?
Yeah, it's always me,
and that's
me.
I'm there, dude. I get mad. We've talked multiple times. People getting in front of me or driving too slow or or Scotty not handing me my drink quick enough at Dairy Queen. Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, those things are so small, man.
Yeah.
Like, I got a family here that I love and love me, and I got great grandkids. Not great grandkids, but grandkids that are great.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the world really is not that bad.
It's not.
There's things that suck. There's always been things that suck.
If you look in the right place, it's that bad.
Yeah,
you can make it look that bad to yourself. Like
but even again, we're gonna do our TBolt USA Top 5 in a minute, and some of my picks in my top 5 when we get there, they have negative connotations or negative product line or whatever. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, and it probably doesn't help me. But I just wish we could find more positive, be more positives. To see what I saw today and what a lot of people saw on social media and see the footage, or even just the fact that Charlie Kirk was assassinated is insane. Like, it wasn't necessary, man. You don't have to like this person. You don't have to like the person that lives next door to you or the person that's in front of you in line or whatever, but you can be nice, man. Be fucking nice.
You can't. Nobody can have a disagreement anymore and just go about their separate ways, and it's ridiculous.
Like it's just conversation.
Yeah,
conversation, bro.
We disagree all the time.
Yeah,
me and Scotty disagree all the time.
For sure.
TJ for sure, but
yeah. Well, TJ's an idiot. Here.
Stop acting like an idiot. You're the idiot.
Don't be an idiot. Changed my life.
There you go. I don't know. I just don't understand people. Again, I'm part of the problem. I get angry. I yell. I don't yell at other people, but I'll yell to myself in a vehicle at other people. But I'm not rolling the window down and going to do it because it's just not necessary. But I don't know, man. I think if we could, each one of us could be focused on trying to do one nice thing a day, at least one nice thing. That'd go a little ways. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Sorry, maybe that's lame. But anyway, do you have anything? And if you don't, that's cool.
That's kind of what I was gonna go with too. I mean, I don't know.
No worries.
There's not a whole lot to be mad about these days, on my end, anyways.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the TBolt USA Top 5. I have not been switching the camera, but it's because it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Right. So, Scotty, if you're watching in post or watching now, and you're like, "Oh, you didn't switch your camera," yeah, no, I'm not, because it's just the two of us. So.
We both look horrible on camera, so
I don't. But I think I'm crushing it with the news and everything, though. Yeah, we're crushing it.
It's going pretty well. It's going better than I thought it was going to for a little while.
Oh, you know what? I just noticed I still got the Ricky Russell logo up, so I did screw up.
That'll be all right.
Let me drop that.
He's still here with us in spirit.
Yep, drop that. So I did screw up there, but at least I put it up when he was on. Anyway, all right, here we go. TBolt USA Top 5. TBolt USA. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. TBolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your pit bikes. You can find handlebar kits featuring BBR and Pro Taper bars, D&M shocks, and even full bikes from YCF, Pitster Pro, and Piranha. TBolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for those Chinese bikes that are really difficult to get running again. If they don't have a part perfect for it, they will find something that will work to help you get going. TBoltUSA.com. Vince is a big supporter of the show. He sends in emails and top fives and all kinds of cool stuff for us and is very involved. So we appreciate TBolt USA. They're moto fans. Support those guys that support us. Okay, the TBolt USA Top 5 this week is top 5 non-moto Instagram follows, and it could be TikTok too. I mean, whatever.
Mine are all Instagrams.
Okay, hit me up. Let's go.
Number one, Nature's Metal.
Okay.
There's it's like animal attacks, like in the wild, stuff like that.
Is it metal METTLE or METAL?
No, Nature is Metal.
Oh, Nature is Metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it'll be a lion attacking something or something crazy happening. It's just a bunch of cool stuff. Stack Golf. He goes to like garage sales and finds like old golf clubs and stuff like that.
Okay.
Sullen TV. They do. They have
Sullen, as in the tattoos.
The clothing company.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
They do a bunch
Sullen.
of I know that one of the dudes that runs that, and then one of the guys that MCs a lot of the shows.
Okay.
Their Instagram's pretty good follow.
Yeah.
Matt Lemoyne Photo.
Yeah, you showed me some of that earlier.
Yeah, he used to race dirt bikes.
No idea.
He's doing photography now. He does some awesome stuff. Some of it's with like duck hunting and a bunch of like time lapse stuff at night, so you can see the stars and stuff. It's worth a follow for sure. And then the last one's my boss T. Weisenberger. He does a bunch of cool tattoos. So it's a shameless plug.
Yeah, no, he's and he rides moto.
Yep, he does.
So Tyler's a cool dude. Yep, for sure. Okay, that's your list. Let me get mine right here. All right, my number one has become one of my favorites. Is Low. It's 4 O's. L-O-O-O-O. Maybe I did 5, but it's 4 O's. L-O-O-O-W_21. And it's a group of these white guys that rap kind of badly. And their videos are all like, they look like they're morons, or
I'm looking.
They might be the R word. Like the main guy always jumps off like a tailgate or a chair.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
They're wear masks. But then sometimes their raps are actually pretty good, so you are really confused. Is this a parody? Dude, they crack me up. Like, I don't even have to have the audio on. I just like watching them. Like, one of them, they're rapping as they're walking down a hallway of like a hotel, I think, or a motel. And like one of the dudes, like they're spread out, like in a I don't know, whatever, like as they're walking towards the camera. And one dude like bumps into the wall. Like, it's so funny. And I don't know if it's supposed to be or not.
It's probably not. That's like that.
It is though. At first I thought they were just hillbillies trying to rap. Now I think it's done on purpose because the dude jumps off something every time, and he almost.
Is it the dude that says this is all for all the juggalos and juggalettes? And
I don't think.
You know what I'm talking about? He'll like jump off onto a microwave or onto like barbed wire and broken glass.
No.
Dude, that's a good follow
ICP
too.
Stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
But this dude, like, he always jumps off something at the beginning, and he almost stumbles every time. That's why I said it has to be fake.
Is it all the dudes in the back are just kind of like doing random things? Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Sometimes they wear masks.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh God, it's so funny. I love it. Daily humor _for you. It's just funny videos constantly. It's just accumulate. This one I think Scotty pointed me in the direction of. Might have been you, but John Breaks Bad News.
That was TJ, I think.
Okay, I thought it was Scotty,
TJ,
but either way.
It may have been Scotty too.
TJ definitely mentioned it recently, but maybe that's
what I'm thinking.
First.
I think you're right, actually.
So John,
I remember TJ doing
it's
that.
Jon. John Breaks Bad News gets, I assume, emails from people that then tell him, he then calls somebody that those people know and gives them bad news. It could be like, hey, Chase, your wife sent me a message and she's been sleeping with your husband or whatever. It's all this
sleeping
stuff.
With my husband.
Breaks bad news to people. And then at the end, he always goes, all right, I love you.
Yeah. There's another dude that it's like, it's something close to OSHA, but people will like email in and he'll go into their workplace and he'll like air out all the grievances the employees.
Oh, really?
Dude,
that sounds cool.
I'll send it straight to you later. I got to find it.
I got Fail Army.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fails, bicycle fails, golf fails, all kinds of fails, whatever. Point Fighter Live. Seen that one?
I haven't.
Okay, I think this is gonna be so bad. This is special needs people who do karate competitions. They break bricks.
You got me, dude. You got me.
And they like run through loops, and I shouldn't be laughing.
Yeah, you got me. Okay. I'm in. I'm fucking in.
So it's Point Fighter live.
Point Fighter live.
Yeah, and like they run through obstacle courses and break bricks, and I'm pretty sure they're all special needs. Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and follow that
I
right now.
can't help but laugh. I don't know how many that is. 1, 2, 3. That's 5 or 6. I'm also going to put in, I do have a moto one, Cody Webb. Cody Webb just blows my mind with things he does on a motorcycle. There's a lot of those. That's not fair.
There's another Cody that's pretty good. Cody Gilmore. He's a pretty good follow.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember what the name of that. It's like the dude will go in and just like air out somebody's boss, and like, dude, you like calling him bald headed and all kinds of stuff, and they'll like call the cops in, and there's one where I've like the lady that did it is laughing when he comes in, so you know it's her. But then he starts like talking and airing everything out, and she's like, "Oh no, I messed up. Like this is too far." And then she starts trying to get him out of there, dude. It's a great follow.
All right, we're gonna move on to the ETS Racing Fuels Pick One. We gotta get Hudson back on for Turd's Take soon.
I think I'm gonna do one of those episodes golfing with Hudson and Andrew.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah. That'd be cool. ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. It's etsracingfuels.com to find your local distribution center. If you want some of the best race fuel on the market, keep your bikes running nice and clean. Oh, were you about to say something?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. The pick one. Did I write it down? It was yours. Oh yeah. Okay. You said you suggested this one earlier. Life with no air conditioning or life with no deodorant. So either way, somebody's probably going to stink.
Yeah.
But if no AC, that people have deodorant, maybe they won't stink so much. But I'm gonna let you go first. You came up with the topic, so
I've got to do no deodorant. Like I could figure out a way to get around it without just straight deodorant. I'm not doing no AC. Like AC is, I don't like stinking. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. If I can smell myself, I hate myself. But like, dude, no AC is ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm gonna go the same. Yeah.
It's gonna suck for everybody else.
Yeah, I'll go no deodorant too. I guess we gotta have a.
I feel like you could do cologne or something and cover it up a little bit. It might just make it worse. Or just
step away.
Yeah, just stop hanging out with people.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna ask. Again, we did the email contest. Just send some emails in, random emails, topics, anything you want to talk about, or picks or top fives. Send us some pick ones, because I really have been struggling to find pick ones. Scotty doesn't care about the show at all. He never answers the group chat for the show.
He texts only on Wednesdays.
Chase only responds when he sees some news on Twitter. He doesn't really answer anything else. He'll see news about like Garrett Marchbanks is racing this weekend. He'll tell me, I'm like, yeah, I know, I saw it too, bro. But he won't answer for pick ones very often. So I need your help. Send us some suggestions for pick ones. It doesn't have to be 2. It could be 3, 4, 5 things within the pick one. It doesn't really matter. Send us some topics. Help us out. Also, send us some top 5s. You can use the email, motoxpodshow@gmail.com, or the contact form on motoxpod.com. But I think, yes, AC, air conditioning is the right answer, especially if you live in East Texas or Florida or et cetera, et cetera.
Which, honestly, it hasn't been that bad this summer.
No, it really hasn't. There's been some days.
It turned cool this last week, and I've been enjoying it.
All right, last segment of the night. Oop, and I just hit the wrong button. That's all right, though. FXR Picks for St. Louis. FXR is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible, used by Muck-Off, FXR Club X Yamaha, Malcolm Stewart, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and both of our guests from tonight, Austin Forkner and Ricky Russell, run an FXR. Go to FXRracing.com to find the entire line of 2025 FXR riding gear and everything else casual wear, everything else they have to offer. Nobody got the picks last week correct, but I did have the podium, but in the wrong order, so I was close. Does it count at all?
I mean, we're not getting anything if it's right anyway.
That's true.
So no.
Okay. So, yep. You know what? We'll say we're going to do a giveaway next week for FXR Picks. We'll do a FXR Casual giveaway next show. So be ready for that. My picks for the 450 podium in St. Louis are Chase Sexton, Jet Lawrence, Eli Tomac. What you got, Chase?
I'm going to go Jet.
It's probably the smarter pick.
J Coop.
Ooh.
I think he's going to be, it's mainly Supercross. He did really well in Supercross until he hit the whoops this year.
Okay.
So I feel, and after last week, I feel like he's going to be firing. I think he's going to get a second. And then let's put Sexton in third.
Okay. Sexton in third. So send us your picks. Probably don't have anything to give away this week. Might be able to find something, but send us your picks. Just so it's fun, man. Maybe. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll find something to give you if you get the picks dead on.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll pick a winner if there's more than one. I don't know what it'll be just yet, but just send us some emails, man. I love it. I love it when you guys interact. I like our YouTube chat. I wish I could have paid attention and been involved, but it would have never worked. I don't think I did a perfect job with the cameras. I know I didn't, but
we're all right. We got through it.
Wasn't bad. We now know we don't need Scotty.
Yep.
So, Scotty, you're fired. No, please come back.
Please.
But yeah, I want to thank all of our sponsors, Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Visit racetech.com, find your local service center, get your suspension serviced. Look into the engine and suspension tuner classes. There's so much knowledge to be had there if you're interested in that. Those things I think still have some openings, and if they don't, they'll do them again next year. And then Yamaha Motor USA. Visit Yamaha Motor USA and see all they have to offer. Off-road, on-road, side-by-sides. We thank those guys. Also, Guts Racing, X-Brand, FXR, ETS Racing Fuels, TBolt USA. Grill your ass off. We want to thank Austin Forkner. I want to thank Ricky Russell. It's been a really fun show. Chase, thanks for coming in.
Anytime, man.
And helping out with this. Anything before we sign off?
No, I think good show this week. Let's go.
All right, we're back next week. See you then.